First one's from Matthew Ince, and the subject is who cares anymore? Right now, the WWE roster is in the best position they've been in a long, long time. I'm not saying that it's the golden years, the Attitude Era, when a tag title match could headline a house show at Madison Square Garden. But when you compare it to the 2017-2019 era, 2023 is awesome. I say this because of the CM Punk AEW issue. The biggest talk from guys like, oh my god. The biggest talk from guys like Hannibal TV or Zero News, the one with the X, is that Punk is like, bro, these are not good sources. Okay,
right? Yeah,
is that Punk is likely to return to AEW at the Revolution pay-per-view in March? My question is, does anyone care anymore? Like, really, it seems that AEW can do anything right. CM Punk will come back to AEW TV, take a few shots at WWE, and then just back to the same old. Even if he returned to WWE, I really don't think that anyone would care. Disco Crazy Eddie and Uncle Conan. By the way, Corey Graves called you Uncle Conan last week on TV.
Yeah.
So, that's why
that was awesome. Yeah.
Right. Uncle TV, what do you think?
Well, I'll tell you exactly what I think. I just think that the old adage, you only have one chance to make a good first impression, and that ship's already sailed. Punk already came back after 7 years. You really didn't do with him, and if he comes back now, I think he kind of left a little bit, to me, in my eyes, as tainted goods. You know,
it's not hot.
So you're right. So unless you have a real good angle or something that's going to resuscitate this guy, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. You know, I just think that. You know, I like heel. Yeah, I like heel Punk. I like Punk as a heel. He's a real good heel. Not as a nice guy. He doesn't come. It's like Charlotte. Charlotte, I don't like her as a baby face. She's like a natural heel, you know. Right. So I'm not feeling Punk as a face. Oh, thank you, shucks. It's good to be back. That was cool, like the first 2 weeks, but it just went way too long. And I liked him when he was throwing little jabs at people, and I definitely liked him in that meltdown with at that scrum with Tony Khan. That's tremendous. That's a classic.
That was like the first scrum I actually was like, oh, it was just a good show. Let me see what they do at the press conference. It was the first one I watched. I remember I texted you guys in the group text, and I was like, you got to put this on or look at Twitter. Like, this is great, because I saw it live.
Oh, me too. I was watching. I was like,
you were watching it live, Disco?
Yeah. No, not live, but immediately when it was over, I was like, look at the clips. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
but what were you thinking while you were watching this, Joe? Because it was surreal, even watching it back.
I thought it was so nuts. And I was watching Tony's, body language and stuff. Right. I actually, after like the first 5-6 minutes, I rewound it and took it to show my wife, who's not a wrestling fan, but she knows Punk and stuff. Like, watch this meltdown. Like, she's like, what's wrong with him? Like, I don't know, but yeah, I knew there was going to be
eating cupcakes and other doing the thing. Tony's like, I can't believe this is happening to me. He doesn't know whether to shoot himself or walk off. He was stunned.
Yeah,
I would have gotten up and said, turn that mic off and let me tell you something, buddy. Because remember that part where he kind of dissed Tony and he goes, Tony, you don't have anything to say in the matter.
You don't have anything to do it or something,
Yeah. And I was like, halt, dude. I sign your checks. What the f*** are you talking about?
I would just say that
and guys, the scrum is over.
We're going to have to put an end to this. The scrum is over right now. Let's get
That's what Dana would do,
Yeah, absolutely. Next one's from Hank Beanie. The subject is Perry Saturn. Hey, guys. I was on Joe, look this up, too.
Mm-hmm.
I was on Pro Wrestling Tees, and I was shocked to see Perry Saturn's store has a disclaimer that, quote, profits from this go to helping Perry Saturn's medical bills due to a severe case of CTE, unquote.
Yeah.
I tried to find an update on Perry Saturn online, but there wasn't anything. He hasn't tweeted since 2019 and hasn't appeared on camera since around the same time. Have you guys spoken with or seen Perry Saturn recently, and do you know anything about his condition? Thank you, and this is from handsome Hank. Bro, I'm good friends with Perry, okay? And when he, he's got issues.
Yeah.
Like, he's obviously got PTSD. He does, okay? He's like, he's, whatever, right? But it's like, he, when he did the what do you call it? The freaking crowd. What's the crowdfunding site?
GoFundMe.
Bro, he did a GoFundMe. He made, and like he got like over $100,000.
Really?
Oh wow!
And it was like to go to go to Bill, like he was like down and out,
Yeah, he needed help.
And I was like, well, that's like I'm not like, I mean, come on, like 100, well, way more than enough. You know,
Yeah.
for like to take care of somebody that's down and out, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money, right? And then I'm looking at this as like, profits from this go to helping Perry's health due to severe cases of bro, you don't know a person has CTE until they're dead. Now Perry probably has CTE, but that's the kind of that they're right. Is it on the site?
It says an undiagnosed. Oh, I don't know, man. This one I'm looking at. This
What
might
does
be
it say?
this might be a different one because this GoFundMe only made $3,000 out of $6,000.
No, there's
That's
an
got to be a
old,
different one, right?
No,
Yeah.
a way different one. I remember the old one where Jericho contributed.
Jericho put in
he
5.
put like
Yeah,
5.
okay.
Yeah. That was he made a fortune, right? And maybe like he hadn't really been online since then. I mean, maybe he made enough to like he's fine now and like whatever. But like, but that thing they're like saying that like due to CTE, it's like, dude, it's like, come on, you can't like say stuff like that. That's
Right.
You don't know if you have CTE.
You can only diagnose CTE when you're deceased because they got to get that tau, TAU, whatever.
Right.
And those are the proteins that let you know that if you have.
Right. So it's like
This was he raised $40,000 at that point, DI, but this says that he has traumatic brain injury, which causes constant headaches, sensitivity to light, brain fog, inability to drive or work, and dementia. So.
Okay. So he's got post-traumatic stress disorder, obviously.
Right, and he was like homeless not too long ago.
Right.
So that must have been a shock to his system.
I'm just saying the wording of that is kind of keep it real.
Right.
Don't like. It sounds like you're saying the guy's got CTE. Okay, well you don't know if he's got CTE. You obviously got issues, but phrase it differently. So whatever.
So you said do you talk to him now? Have you kept up with him?
Not really. I had the guy. I did the interview for the guy that was doing his documentary. And never really heard from the guy again.
Yeah, I think Raven
plus
stays
homeless
in touch.
people don't have phones, nothing.
Right. Yeah. No, he's not homeless anymore. I think he got back on his feet. So.
He's got a girlfriend and a dog, and
he had to have been back on his feet. I mean, he made if he did from that GoFundMe.
Yeah, if you see a video of him speak now, he's different.
No, he was always kind of punch drunk.
Yeah, but he's different than he was a few years ago. I mean, a few years ago.
I hope he's never lost his humor. He was one of the funniest guys like ever. You know, he was hysterical. I used to, especially when cell phones came out and we had voice messages. Me, him, Raven, and stuff. All our voice messages would reference each other. It's like you go, "Hey, I'm Perry Saturn. I'm not here right now. I'm light burning the candle at both ends. And if this is you, Raven." Raven, he cut a promo on Raven on his voicemail, right? So it's like we were all like doing that, like trading voicemails back and forth. I mean, it's funny stuff, right? So the next one's from Fall Vampire, and somebody says Backlash. First of all, I absolutely love the video mailbag. Great work, guys. Okay, we can thank Hughes for that. It was his idea. So let's get Cody. Will you put Hughes over for coming up, Dad? No, all right. My question is about Cody Rhodes. Every time, WWE pushes a new babyface to the top, then fans refuse to get behind them. Has happened over and over and over again. Happened to Kofi Kingston, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Daniel Bryan, Big E, and now it seems like it's happening to Cody Rhodes. Cody did an interview with Ariel Helwani in which he said that winning the Rumble was the greatest moment of his career. That's right, guys. A wrestler put over a huge event that he won. Right on cue, the IWC are now looking for blood because, quote, he's turning his back on AEW, unquote. Basically, I'm asking, even if Cody wins the title at WrestleMania, do you think with today's fans it's going to lead to nothing because the marks don't seem to want to enjoy wrestling? As much as I love the video mailbag, we also need Joe to do a K100 rehash special of all the times Billy reported that The Rock versus Roman was happening. It'll be fun to hear him deny that he got it all wrong for years. Well, first of all, Rock versus Roman was supposed to happen before the Vince McMahon stuff and everything, and everybody's reported that. So that's like, bro, whatever.
Yeah, he was at the Grammys last night, and all the wrestling fans are on Twitter like, "Oh, he can't come back, but he can go to the Grammys." Like,
right?
What? Not even related.
I will say this, bro. The WWE fans dwarf the AEW fans right now. So any people complaining about Cody are just disgruntled AEW fans that their brand is getting smashed by WWE right now. So I don't think this is like, but the people are saying like, hey, let me make a point here. And I want to see if Cody agrees with this. And we're having Eric on this week, and specifically I wanted to talk to him about this because he made a great point, okay? And I want to fast forward to a point that he made months and months. It may have been I don't know how long ago it was, but it was a while back, right? So remember when Eric was on with Conrad, Okay, and they had discussed that, like, with the storytelling, like Eric has more confidence in the WWE the way they structure their storytelling. Okay, and Conrad was kind of surprised at that. Remember that?
No. I
Okay,
remember him making that comment. I don't remember Conrad being
Conrad
surprised.
was kind of surprised.
Right.
Because Conrad, we love Conrad and what he does, okay? And he's great at his job, interviewing these guys. But the reason he does so well is because he's kind of the voice of the dirt sheet marks. Like, he'll reference, Dave Meltzer reported this, and, like, he's been a Meltzer reader for years and stuff, and he'll talk about stuff that Meltzer said about Eric, and they'll talk about these points, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny when they do, like, I see a lot of their clips, right, with Eric and him. And Conrad is constantly surprised at things Eric says, And I want to reference, like, Eric said that I have more confidence in the structure, the way the WWE structures their storytelling. Let's fast forward to the Sami Zayn Bloodline storyline. Okay, and, like, for months and months, this has just been a well-told, structured story to the point that the actual wrestling has been insignificant. Okay, Sammy's a good worker. He has good matches, but he's only wrestled when the story has presented a situation where he needs to get in the ring. Okay, and he has a good match, nothing special. It tells the story, right? And then the conclusion of the match is always a finish where it gets you thinking about the next thing. To the point that their storytelling of this character, which has basically been done in vignettes, backstage segments, and everything, to where the people are saying, this guy needs to main event WrestleMania. And it's like it shows you the strength of structured storytelling and episodic television to where it develops characters to the point, like, people think he should be main eventing WrestleMania now. And, like, Eric was absolutely right about that. And, like, like, what do you think about that, Conan?
Well, I think we knew that.
We knew that too. But that's like a point.
But you also got to remember, that's the difference between us and the fans.
Right.
We've been in the business, and then even more inner circle, we've been on booking committees, which is a whole different world.
Absolutely.
And it helps you see helps you see wrestling differently. Because when you're doing it, you're looking at it as a wrestler, and you're only looking at it, what's in it for me. But now you have to take care of the promotion.
Right.
And one of the reasons I was able to book so young with no prior experience whatsoever, when Antonio Pena, who I consider a genius, told me, will you be a booker with me? And I was probably the youngest booker in Mexican history, and with no previous experience, because the one thing I did that nobody else did is I had ideas for others.
Right.
So I had my ideas, which I knew I was going to get over because I was confident, cocky. But I also had ideas for Eddie, for Love Machine, for Ray, for Hoovy.
I was way worse because I would never contribute ideas for myself. I'd always contribute ideas for other people.
Right.
I was very unselfish like that, so.
Right.
Next is for Brock. Joe, do you have this clip ready?
Yeah.
Go to the two. Go
what
to
was the
ending.
question this guy asked, anyways?
We kind of like how the fans are going to turn on Cody and say, "Well, it's just
no, they won't."
That's AEW fans, because, like, the WWE fans are not turned on Cody.
They're not turned. He's over.
You might have a few people booing because Sammy, but he's still over. Like, you hear the pops from him. Like I said, they have two over guys at the same time, which is a great spot to be in. When you're in promotion. So,